Well, the engine is getting back together. It's taken a while. We had something happened in the family, so we took a little break from doing stuff. So intake's back on, fuel rail's back on. Trying to get it timed up. I thought I had it. Everything was at perfect time. Had the belt tensioned, I thought, right. And went ahead and didn't crank it over, but turned it by hand. Nothing seized up. But then I was a little off. This was at top dead center, but that wasn't anymore. So I'm thinking that there was slack somewhere in the belt, so maybe I didn't have it tensioned perfectly. So I'll have to start over and do that again. But yeah, and then get the J-boot on and see what we can do. Still gotta figure out this. So I was told that maybe the white wire goes to the one that had the numbers and the black wire goes to the X. So it's not going to hurt either way. But the problem is, this is for the oil pressure switch. On the new one, one peg is one size, one is another size. So I can't put things on these until I'm sure, otherwise I'm going to have to cut them off and put them on again. So I'll strip the wires and I'll just put it on there loosely to start with, but we'll have to figure that out. Got to put the ignition coil back in, battery in, fuse in for the fuel pump, spark plugs and all that on, but here we are.
So you got the head back on it, right?
Yeah. Well, you'll notice that that's not the 944. So today, Dad's van's over, my brother's in from LA, and we're trying to replace the spark plugs and the wires and a couple of the gaskets as well. So this is what we're working on today.
Are you on fire the last time you got out of the car?
Great
All right.
video.
So everything's hooked back up except for the back tailpipe and the muffler. But I think everything is hooked up, and we're gonna try to start it.
Possibly correct.
Big audience.
Yeah. Dad's here, brother's here, son's here. Brother's wife is inside sleeping, but not for long. So, all right.
Test one.
All right, here we go.
Hey. I'm not sure about this.
I think everything's hooked up.
Well, hold on. You're going to have to prime it a few times to get the fuel up there. You hear the...
I see lights. That's all.
You have to turn the key on and off.
It is.
I don't hear the fuel pump.
Something's not getting to the ignition.
Well, I'm not turning the ignition all the way yet.
We figured out what that...
All right, Rick, I'm just going to try it.
That sounds like it's going to throw a bearing.
Well, it's a belt squeal on.
Oh, yeah, because the...
But it started!
Nobody died!
And I didn't hear any knocking. The band's kicked on. That's what I wanted to see. The one is just still running, probably just to cool the rest of the engine down. So that ran pretty good. I don't know what that little sound is from the fan, but I mean, these fans haven't run in years. So hopefully as that loosens up, maybe that'll go away. But that ran pretty good. So that belt squeak was actually the accessories belt. Either the belt or the compressor or the alternator bearings. One of those two. But that's what that squeal was. It was not the timing belt or the balance shaft belt. So that ran pretty good. Okay. Met a guy on one of the Facebook groups, Curtis. Thank you very much. Shout out to you. He saw my picture for the St. Louis Blues, was wondering if I was in St. Louis, and he was. He lived like 20 minutes away. He had a tensioning gauge, so he came over the other day and helped me make sure that my belts were tensioned correctly. So my timing belt was dead on. My balance shaft belt was a little bit tight. So we just got that to the proper tension as well. So what I started working on also was getting the brakes off. This one, and this is the driver's side, this was rusted. This took me a long time to get the top bolt off of there. I can't get my impact wrench in there. And the top bolt was so rusted, I could only use my breaker bar to turn it a quarter turn. And then go back, go forward, go back, move it, quarter turn. Until I got a little further down. I got it far enough out that I could get a ratchet on there. But then when I had my ratchet, I had to use this then, and that's just an aluminum bat, on the end of the ratchet to give me enough leverage to get that off. My casualty on that side was my brake line. Trying to get this off. This was rusted to the brake line. So as I was trying to get it off and break it, this turned a little bit and just snapped the brake line, because the nut itself, the flare itself would not turn at all because it was completely rusted to the brake line. So I looked that up. That's not too bad. I was going to bend my own, but it's only like $20 because it's the short one. So I think I'll probably just order that, because it's a different brake line, a little harder to bend. And my flaring tool is crap, so I'd rather just spend the $20 and get one. So then this side, as you can see, I've got everything off already. This side came off much easier. I did not break the brake line. It was on there pretty good, but I left these soaking in PB Blaster, for like 3 days, in anticipation of me coming and doing this. So every time I came out, I put more PB Blaster on them. Oh, that was the other thing. This bolt over here, this top bolt, couldn't get it to budge even with the breaker bar. So I had bought a torch. I used my torch for the first time. So actually heating that up and torching that and getting that bolt hot enough, I was able to finally break it. But I needed to use my torch in order to do that. So I got to use one of my new toys. So this is all apart. Reason being is I am completely overhauling the brake system. I was going to rebuild my calipers, but I started with this back one here, and I can't even get the cylinder out of it. It won't budge. I put it in a vise. I was able to get it to wind back in a little bit, but I couldn't turn it. There was no way for me to get it out. So I think I'm just going to buy a set of good used ones. I don't know. These might not be too bad. But see, like this one was so rusted. Trying to get it out, I don't think I'm going to do that. So I think I'll get a set of good used ones. And I can get them from Elliott for $30 a piece. And I'll rebuild them. I've ordered all new rotors, all new brake pads, all new master cylinder, stainless steel brake lines, and I'll get the calipers and then rebuild those. So now I've just got to get that rotor off that hub. Or not off the hub, off the, I don't know what you call it, whatever it's attached to. So that's got to come off now. So that'll be the next thing. Also this weekend, if you can see, those nuts or bolts or whatever you want to call them are clean. I drained the transmission fluid. I was able to get both of those open. Transmission fluid looked pretty good. It looked like that had been recently changed. So I bought some that's sitting over there. I got to put that in. But yeah, I was talking about these brakes. If you look, those brake pads, man, they got a lot of meat left on them. The front ones do. Back ones were pretty worn, but the front ones I think had been replaced recently. So, yep. All right, driver's side is off as well. So what I had done before I took it off was I spun the wheel, and I looked to see if my speedometer cable would turn, and guess what? It doesn't. Well, when I pulled it off, it doesn't do a whole lot of good when the cable is snapped. So, I don't know. You know, who knows? Who knows what happened with that? But yeah, it was just snapped off inside there. So, that'll need to be replaced as well. So part of today was painting the front stabilizer bar, and I also painted the bushing mounts as well. I was gonna paint these, but they actually cleaned up pretty well. These are the outside ones. So those actually cleaned up pretty well. So I think I'm just gonna leave those all natural. I was thinking of painting them silver, but I think I'll just leave them the way that they are. So that's it. I got the wrong oil for the transmission. So I've got to bring that back and get the right stuff. Brake parts and all that stuff should be coming this week. Hopefully get that up and going, get the clutch going, and seeing if we can move this. Oh, I also bought the boots and everything to rebuild the CV axles in the back. So I'm gonna rebuild those as well. So moving right along, I gotta wait for the speedo cable. I gotta wait for the brake line, and my calipers from Elliott Grafton. So I'm gonna have to wait on those. But hopefully in the next few weeks we can get the rear wheels moving, which would be really, really nice. So we shall see.